Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Novisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarati is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Hello and welcome to the Media News and Voice of the People Television. I am Fina Okechukwu.
And I am David Edwin.
The headlines: 38 kidnapped Kwara worshippers reunite with families.
Daniel Wala insists Tinubu's government won't negotiate with terrorists.
Senate to screen Christopher Musa as defense minister.
3 Nigerians cleared of drug charges released from Saudi Arabia.
Bode George calls Adelike's PDP exit a desperate survival move.
Lagos suspends Lagos Ekpe Expressway work until January.
In business, CBN revises cash withdrawal rules from January 2026.
In the world of sports, FIFA to introduce major VAR change at 2026 World Cup.
In entertainment, Edo Assembly summons Natasha Osawaru over viral Tubaba video. Now the news and details. The 38 church worshippers kidnapped in Eruku, Ekiti local government area of Kwara State have reunited with their families. They were abducted on November 18 during a Thanksgiving service at CAC OK Ishogu. An attack that left 3 people dead and 1 injured. In a statement, the chief press secretary to the Ekiti LGA chairman, Dada Sunday, said the victims were handed over to Ilorin to Chairman Awelewa Olawale Gabriel by Governor Abdurrahman Abdrazak. The statement added that the handover followed a coordinated rescue operation involving federal and state security agencies. Receiving the victims, Awelewa thanks President Bola Tinubu, Governor Abdrazak, the National Security Advisor and security agencies for what he called a swift intervention. The Owa of Eruku also praised the joint rescue efforts and thanked all authorities involved for ensuring the safe return of the worshippers.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu's advisor on policy communications, Daniel Wala, says the federal government will not hold talks with terrorist groups. Speaking in a television interview, Wala noted that Nigeria's security challenges are complex and can force administrations into difficult choices. Asked about the recent release of kidnapped school children without ransom, he explained that several factors can influence such outcomes. He said some individuals act as negotiators and not all interactions with armed groups involve money. In certain cases, captors may release victims if holding them longer creates unimaginable problems, sometimes influenced by religious and community leaders. Boala added that security agencies may track criminals but delayed action to protect civilians, issuing warnings that can pressure abductors to free hostages.
This report says that the federal government's drive to expose sponsors of terrorism has sparked reactions across Benin City, the Edo state capital. Some residents welcome the move as a step towards curbing violence, while others stress that transparency and concrete evidence must guide the process to ensure justice.
Meanwhile, the Senate will later today screen Christopher Musa, former Chief of Defense Staff, for the position of Minister of Defense. Senate leader Akpabio Bamidele confirmed this in a statement from his Media and Public Affairs Office. He said the screening is key to strengthening internal peace and national security. Musa's nomination follows the resignation of former Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru due to health reasons. President Bola Tinubu forwarded Musa's nomination to Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Tuesday. The screening will determine Musa's suitability to lead the nation's defense ministry.
In another development, President Bola Tinubu has received Abia State Governor Alex Oti at the presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting is reportedly linked to efforts to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu, who is the indigenous people of Biafra's leader. Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment on terrorism-related charges by a federal high court in Abuja on November 20, 2025, a verdict that sparked protest and calls for his release. Governor Oti recently visited Kanu at Sokoto prison, where he is serving his sentence. The engagement is seen as part of a coordinated effort by legal and political stakeholders to find a resolution to the long-running case.
Elsewhere, 3 Nigerians detained in Saudi Arabia since August 2025 have been released after authorities found they had no link to any attempt to smuggle prohibited substances through Jeddah's King Abdul Aziz International Airport. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Kimiebi Ebienfa confirmed their release in a statement. The detainees Abdul Hamid Sadiq, Miriam Hussein Abdullahi, and Bahija Aminu Abdullahi were arrested after illicit items were traced to luggage fraudulently tagged to their tickets at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport. According to the ministry, Saudi investigators later determined the accused had no knowledge of the scheme and cleared them of wrongdoing. They were released on September the 14th and 15th, 2025. And the travel restriction placed on them were subsequently lifted. Miriam and Bahija returned to Nigeria on November the 5th, while the travel ban on Sadiq was lifted on December the 2nd, with arrangements now underway for his return.
Moving on to politics, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Bode George, has described the exit of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke from the PDP as a desperate survival move. Speaking to newsmen in Lagos to the state of the nation, George said the crisis within the party may have forced the governor's hasty departure, calling it a troubling development. He added that confusion over which faction controls the party's leadership likely contributed to Adeleke's decision. George also urged President Bola Tinubu to caution the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, warning that unchecked use of power undermines national cohesion. He further stated that attempts to stop a duly elected leadership from taking office are unlawful and part of a broader threat to multi-party democracy in Nigeria.
And here in Lagos, the state government has ordered contractors working on the Etiosa-Lekki-Ekpe Expressway to vacate the site from Thursday, December the 4th, 2025. The contractors will resume work on January 2026 to allow free traffic flow during the festive season. The rehabilitation covers a stretch from the Admiralty Way Junction to the Jubilee Bridge in Ajah within the Etiosa local government area, and the Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, announced the directive during an inspection of the project area. He said the temporary suspension is necessary to prevent severe traffic congestion associated with the period. Oshiemi added that the measure is aimed at ensuring smooth vehicular movement throughout the U-turn.
You're still watching the Media News on Voice of the People television. It's time for the news analysis. I would also in the studio to help make sense of the stories I've listened to thus far, the Medical Bulletin, is Barrister Darlington Agomoy, public and political affairs analyst. And we'll be joined virtually by Ismail Oladare, who is a member of Take It Back movement, as well as a political and public affairs commentator. Good afternoon, Barrister Darlington.
Good afternoon, Finn and David. How are you?
Well, good. Good to have you join today's Media News, Barrister.
My pleasure.
All right, Oladare, good afternoon. If you can hear me, Mr. Ismail. All right, I guess I was having a little glitch there. I couldn't hear what he was saying at this moment, but I believe we'll be able to establish communication with him during the course of the midday news. Barrister Darlington, without wasting much time, let me start off with you. You know, Nigerians are talking about first was the reappointment of the former CDS as the defense minister here. So the call that some persons have been questioning why, what led to it at this point, and why should we have such play out? Let us also, you know, why you talk about that and look at the fact that according to the spokesperson of the president, that the president is not in negotiation with any bandit or terror group member, saying that even the release of the school children from KB and also the church people from Eruku has nothing to do with negotiation, citing that some persons could go in for the talk, but not the government itself. Let's get your opinion on this, please.
Look, whenever these people want to lie, at least let them lie with intelligence. You know, let them not lie in such a way that even kindergarten children will understand and know where they're going.
Are you saying this is a lie?
If it is not like that, what is it? That they did not negotiate with terrorists. Bayo Nonoga, who is the president's special assistant, I'm sure that man cannot make such a decision without the knowledge of the president. And he still retain his job. He cannot do that. So what are they talking about?
No, Bayo Nonoga said there was discussion. He didn't say anything about negotiation from, you know, what we heard or what we got.
There was a phone call.
There was a discussion. And the reason for the discussion was they noticed that the bandits were using the innocent school children as human shield. But we also saw that the presidency told Nigerians that it took the help of the NAF, that's the National Air Force, and also that of the military to do the bombardment. And then before nobody's happening, we'll have these people released and they are reunited with your family members. So, Barrister, why are we having conflicting information?
No. When NAF was bombing, he didn't bomb the captives, Abi.
Nigerians are asking for the dead bodies of the perpetrators, the terrorists, if need be. But we were told that they just told us the story, which is that the school girls have been released and they've been reunited with their family members, all thanks to the government. And no one was hurt, no one was harmed. We also saw the video where the girls were being asked by the terrorists or the bandits that kidnapped them, did we hurt you? And, you know, and they were responding and all that, not like, be careful.
You just told me now that they said they bombarded the terrorists. That was why they were able to release their captive, their Abi. So when they were doing the bombing, nobody died, Abi. No single person died. Fina, please, they have insulted us enough. At this point, they should start thinking what to say again.
Barrister, is it the government or people who are a bit overzealous that, because now we were getting from Daniel Bwala that the federal government will not hold talks with any terrorist group. But we learned also from Nuhu Ribadu that he went to Kotangura, where the St. Mary's School was situated. And after the visit, he came up to tell Nigerians that we should not fret, that the school children are well taken care of, that they are okay where they are. There's no cause for alarm. So what does this really portend? Are we seeing the government speaking from the two sides of the mouth, or the people who find themselves within the government place at this point trying to, you know, more like have an overreach or speak more than they should for the government?
When they are telling you lies and you do not challenge or interrogate it, they will tell you more lies. But when you question it, they will now look for a way to tell another lie on top of the first one they told you. Because that's what is going on here. Bayo no longer had a TV interview, Abi,
right,
where he told us how he made a phone call, how he had a discussion with them, and all that. Is that not true? Has anybody disputed that? The answer is no. This other one they're telling you now about the children are okay, the school children are okay, no problem, they are taken care of. How did they come to know that? They visited them where they are, and they now see that they are okay. Or is it not that the terrorists are giving them that assurance while they are looking for money to release them? Is that not what is going on here?
Barrister, how sure are we that it is money? Because Bola went further to explain that several factors can influence such outcome, the outcome of releasing of, you know, kidnapped victims and all that. I don't know if you actually have any idea of what such actions can be and all that.
The only action is money. Fina, the only action is money. That is the only language these kidnappers understand. That's the only language they know. The only action is money. Apart from that, forget it.
Now, Barrister, there are concerns about the fact that the officials have said that they were swift and, of course, decisive in the path of getting these girls back to their parents. Should these in any way give more public assurance to the people? Plus the fact that this strikes more like they are on top of the whole situation. Should the public be very much more assured?
If you calculate the number of people they have kidnapped in the last 3 weeks, I mean, in the last 3 weeks, there are over 500. And so, where are the people? That they brought out back 38 people and this other 25 or so. Does it add up? The remaining people, uncle, the one they kidnapped in that Niger school, the Catholic leaders there said that there are over 315. So how many has come back? You can see. I'm sure whenever they want to tell this lie, they don't even remember that they have told one lie before.
All right, then.
And they said the liars should have good memory, so that they will remember all the lies they have been telling us.
Oh, well. Let's get to our virtual analyst this beautiful afternoon. Mr. Ismail Oladari, a very good afternoon to you. Let's establish communication first. Please unmute your mic so we can hear you better, because we can't hear you right now.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good afternoon to you. And thank you so very much.
Again, sorry.
Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, then let's have your take about the fact that the presidential spokesperson, I'm talking about Daniel Bwala, has clearly said that the country and, of course, this government is not negotiating with terrorists. Of course, therefore, there are other ways to do this conversation, and there is no negotiation in that mix. Thus, the reason why we see these schoolgirls returning back to their parents. What's your take about this statement, as against the fact that Bayo Onanuga, the presidential spokesperson, also had said that the presidency, the administration carefully had a conversation with these bandits, and of course, these students and these children were released. What's your position with this conflicting, I must say, kind of statement?
The government is convinced, and it is so obvious, and this is a testament to that fact. On one hand, they are saying one thing, on the second hand, they are saying another thing. And, it's also the reason why they contradict themselves. Onanuga will say one thing, another spokesperson will say another thing. And it's also a fact that, when they tell you they negotiated, or they don't want to even come out to agree that they've negotiated with these bandits. But the fact remains that they've been negotiating with them. And when you now confront them as the reason why, as the fact that when you pay ransom, you are emboldening these bandits the more. What they'll tell you is that they have hostages, they need to be very diplomatic so that the hostage won't be victim at the end. All those things to gloss over what they've been doing wrongly. But it's also a fact that there are several cases of kidnappings, terrorism across the world, and there have been hostages. And we've seen actions by serious governments where they will, take out the bandits without affecting their victims, right? So it's happening all over the world. But the reason why our own governments are unable to do this and presenting this as an excuse is the fact that, like we've been saying over and over again, they are complicit.
Should we be concerned?
Terrorism.
Should we be concerned
so they don't have
about the fact that
to actually clear out these bandits as they were?
Well, let me still stay with you, Mr. Ismail. Should we be concerned about the fact that the government is trying everything possible to returning these children and, of course, victims of these bandits back to their homes? The way and the approach they go about it, should that be a concern, or should the returning of these people safely to their families be the very, very priority that we are talking about?
The way they go about, Because if you get them to their homes today, what is the probability and the possibility that they won't kidnap them again tomorrow? Right? So when you embolden these kidnappers just because you just need to get the victims safely to their home, you get them safely to their home for them to be kidnapped again tomorrow, because you've emboldened these criminals again. You've given them more resources to kidnap tomorrow. And when they kidnap them tomorrow again, they will add more victims. So next tomorrow now, you want to save more victims.
All right then.
To negotiate more with these bandits. So this is what we are saying. The method is as important as the victims they are getting out.
All right. Now, you said something, Mr. Ismail Oladare. You say that the government is complicit. Is it the government at this point, or are we seeing some people within the military being more like aiding these terrorists from carrying out the activity? For example, let's take a cue from what played out during the Chibok girls kidnap, and how we were told, although 82 of the girls are still in captivity, not all of them were reunited with their family members, but we have this information making waves where we're told that the then president of US sent the military into Nigeria to help, pull out to rescue the girls. But they saw that what they discussed with the military to be the only way on how to rescue the girls, which is using gas to get into the den of the Boko Haram insurgent group members and pass them out and take out the girls. The information was leaked to them even before they could carry out that operation. Is it the government at this point, or are we seeing some sympathizers of these terrorists who we know, according to the information we gather, are now within our military sabotaging the effort of the government to end the issue of insecurity?
Exactly, this is it. The reason why we say they are all complicit is the fact that when you hear that, okay, somebody in the military is doing so, or the military is compromised, you, as the GCFR, in charge of all these security apparatuses, what have you been doing about it? When news comes out that, okay, so person, so general, so person within the military, even the ranks and file are compromised, you as the president, what are you doing? The government, what are they doing about it? Or are we saying that the government now doesn't have control over the military? Right? So if they are not doing anything, they are complicit as much. Right? So the military general will come out and say, or a soldier will come out and say, we want to engage the bandits, but we got order that we should disengage, showing that one of our Oga is part of them.
In the west of Lieutenant General T.Y. Burutai retired, he said that we should cut the military some slack, that they are working with the names made available from the state governors. So if we have people who are Boko Haram members or insurgent members have their names on the list, then we should go back to the state governors, ask patients, why should they field in such individuals? Recall that the military does not really have, information of the people that want to join them and all that. So do you also think at this point that we should cut the military some slack and take the blame back to the state governors?
No, we blame them all because we have different intelligence, different facts and different stories to point to the fact that a lot of these military generals are complicit. Okay. So definitely will come some slack to our rank and file soldiers that are on the battlefield all the time, right? We'll definitely call them the slack. But these top generals, a lot of them are complicit, just like the government are. Because, I remember a case recently, like some weeks ago, where one of the soldiers came out to, indict one of the generals. And what happened was the fact that the soldier that actually came out to indict his Oga was actually the one that was now victimized and was disciplined. Nothing happened to the so-called general that was, indicted. And the government didn't do anything about that as well. So these are the premises where we can now lay the fact that, they are all compromised.
All right, then.
They are all complicit.
All right, then let's take this conversation back to the studio here. Barrister, interestingly, international observers reported that at least 402 Nigerians have been abducted since November 17th up till date. And of course, the figures, keep escalating by the day. Now, this level of mass abduction, Barrister, how much of intel does the Nigerian security apparatus have to curbing this level of insecurity? You would recall as well that the NSA, like we did mention earlier, did say that the children, the Niger State children, are still safe and they will return. How much of intel does the Nigerian security apparatus have? Plus, the de-radicalized Boko Haram members that have been captured before now, how much of that intel also have been used to curb insecurity thus far?
David, they have all the intel they need. They have all the gadgets. The world is no longer lacking in what? In intelligence gathering. All that they need is out there. All you need is to ask for it and they'll give it to you. They have it, but the political will to do anything is not there. That's the truth. For example, who ordered the military in that school to vacate from that place before these guys now came in to adopt them? Who? Was it not intelligent that told the person that they gave that order that, look, in the next 30 minutes, these people are coming here, yeah, go away from there. Up to today, have they asked who told them to leave? Who is that order from above? Up to today. So, government has a way of contradicting itself.
But Barrister, just yesterday, the president also did meet with the service chiefs as well. Should we be expecting something different? Because that was a closed-door meeting he held with his service chiefs. Should there be any hope following that closed-door meeting?
I would have said there is hope if that was the first closed-door meeting they are having. Since Tinubu came into office, he had had more than 5 closed-door meetings with the service chiefs. Is that not true? What came out of them?
The declaring of a national emergency on security, isn't that something that possibly came out of those meetings?
Nothing will come out of it because even in a state of curfew, the deputy girls were adopted. The day they were coming, all roads was cleared of police, army, DSS. Nobody was on that road that they were coming through. So what are you telling me? In a state of curfew, where there should be no movement and all that, 15 Hilux bus came in and adopted those girls. And today, no heads have ruled. Nobody has asked questions. How come nobody was on that road that they were? Amnesty International had to make 5 phone calls that rang out. Nobody picked it. When they wanted to allow the military that, look, these people are coming, nobody picked their calls. So,
the presidency has said that in a couple of days from now, we'll be having names of terrorism financiers. How much of an impact would that list do to insecurity in Nigeria?
If they want to do it, they don't need to announce it.
All right.
Except that these people they are talking about, they have already put them in prison somewhere and they cannot move. If not, why would you alert them that you are going to, what are you saying? You mean they don't know what to do? You want to go and catch somebody where he is hiding, and you first of all call a press conference. This thief that we are looking for since 2 years ago, we have just discovered where he's hiding, and very soon we are going to pick him up. And the thief will be there waiting for you, Abi.
Oh well, Barrister Assistant the Senate is to screen Christopher Musa later today or before the week runs out as the Minister of Defense. Would that also have some kind of impact on the path of insecurity?
This is to fulfill all righteousness. All the ones they screened before, what happened? How are they performing? Will they allow the man to even work? It is one thing for you to know your job, and another thing for you to be allowed to do that job. It's as simple as that.
Interesting. Oladare, let's get your opinion on this. The fact that the former CDS have been appointed by the president to be the defense minister, and we know that the Senate is set to screen him to know if he's qualified for the job. What do you make of this, please? Someone that was sacked few weeks or months ago, and now been appointed. to be the defense minister?
Yeah, thank you. You see, one thing about this bourgeoisie democracy that we run in this country is the fact that for everything they try to do, there's always an element of wrongdoings. Do you understand? And also for every appointment, it is less development, less working, right? So when this government seemingly try to do anything, whether it's new appointments, whether it's the state of emergency or insecurity, people still don't see anything changing. People don't see anything positive coming out of all of these their interventions, because where they are supposed to show the political will to do things, they don't show it. So they just do other things just to not feel like they're not doing anything at all, right? So when they're supposed to take decisive actions, they don't take it. So it's understandable when people now say no, nothing will come out of this, or they don't believe in what they've done or what they are trying to do. It's very, very germane when people say that, because that's the fact. I'm very sure that after some weeks we'll come back in this studio to start talking about how the new minister is now failing, and all of these things again. So, like we always maintain, the absolute best is to kick out all of these guys who don't have the will to actually end this ravaging insecurity. They don't have it. Whatever they do, they don't have the way to do the right things. So the utmost solution is for the people to just oust them away.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ishmael, for your submission. Now, Barrister, let's say 2 minutes or thereabouts, if time will permit us. We learned that the governor of Abia State, Alex Soti, visited the president to talk more about the possible release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Recall he went to Sokoto to pay him a visit there in Sokoto Custodial Center. And, what do you make of this, please? Let's start with, what do you think the outcome of this will be? Do you think the president will listen to the governor at this point, even when he couldn't listen to the 44 lawmakers and even the 54 lawmakers and all that? And why is it that this particular case, Nnamdi Kanu's case, has gained so much momentum in Nigeria?
Now, Alex Oti has done well. In fact, I give him kudos for what he has done, the effort he's making. And for me, any effort that will bring Nnamdi Kanu out of that prison is welcomed by me. Even if it's the whole governors or one person, any person that has the ears of the president can do the job on behalf of every other person. Because there are some governors that will not go because of how committed they are. So we don't need the crowd here. If one person can have the ear of the president concerning Nnamdi Kanu, it's welcomed by me. At least they are talking. Yes, and the man gave assurance that very soon he will come out. So yes, that means that the discussion is going on. Yes. So
the conversation around political will and solution towards getting him out should be the next move.
Of course, because since the case has been decided, what else? What else?
All right then, Barrister, before we let you go, let's take up another political statement. As it sounds, formal, no, not formal now, PDP's chief thing, I'm talking about Bode George, has called Adeleke's exit a desperate survival move. What do you make of that? Because he's not about the first person to leave the PDP, plus the fact that presently the PDP even have a new representative come the next election in the party and in the state. What's the position with this statement by Bode George? And of course, the fact that he termed it desperate survival.
Look, if care is not taken, and I'm saying this with every sense of responsibility, if care is not taken, PDP may not take part in this election that is coming. All the facts are there. If you have not done the needful up till now, when are you going to do it? When? As I talk to you now, there's no leadership in PDP, no leadership.
Which is the reason why Adeleke left.
Of course, you don't blame them. Those people, they don't have the balls to face the boiling water. So those people who are fighting for their political future,
Barrister,
they don't want to stake it with PDP.
The boiling water we're talking about here should be one person against a full party that has been adjudged the biggest party in the entire Africa. in 1999 before time. What do you make of this, that the party is sinking to the point that governors who are still in power cannot salvage the situation?
They made a mistake by allowing Wike all this while. They would have sacked Wike 2 years ago. Why they waited up to now, I don't know. And why they think that the thing is going to work now, I don't know. It's very, very difficult for you to have allowed this man all these privileges up to now, and now you say you want to expel him. What makes you think that that proposition will work? The man is already talking of holding a primary, a convention in the southeast, because all the conditions that you're supposed to follow before you come to your national convention, you didn't follow them. INEC was not there. And so what makes you think that PDP is the right cause? Right now, there's no leadership. Wike and his group are talking. What's the other man? The chairman, the man that claimed to be the chairman of PDP, is talking. Meanwhile, there is no authentic leader. Nobody is in Wadata house. Everything is in disarray. And that's
sealed by the police.
So everything is disarray. And that's what the president told us.
Right,
that if they can go in disarray, why not? If not.
Let's get your opinion on this, Mr. Ismail Oladare. What do you make of this? The PDP crisis is more like the internal wrangling is still deepening. As we learned from the chieftain of the party, Bode George, he also wrote a letter to the president, Dear President, do well to call the Minister of FCT to order that, it's more like we're ending the issue of democracy. What does this really portend for Nigeria and the fact that we're championing democracy for the past 26 years? I guess I was told down that we lost connection with to Oladare.
But George is wasting time writing letter. Was he not the same man who was in bed with Wike? You see, it's unfortunate, seriously. How do you know an elder? An elder is that person who will see what the children cannot see. That's why they say what an elder sees sitting down. A young man that climbed bureaucracy will not see it.
But Barrister, he was in bed to making sure that the party still stands. He was in bed with Wike at the time, don't you think so?
When he was hobnobbing with Wike, he didn't know where Wike was going, Abi.
Maybe he doesn't, Barrister. But maybe he doesn't have that inclination.
The letter is writing now is useless. Why is he writing Tinubu for that? Why is it? Deal with Wike.
But Barrister, what does this portend for democracy? If we have certain individuals going against or using their office now to make sure that opposition political parties are in disarray. If you say that, he shouldn't write a letter to the president, who, according to some persons, is more like emboldening this individual for not calling him to order, and then he's been trying to distort the party. Recall that one of the things that he said would be the reason for the party to come into normalcy is if the People's Democratic Party, a one-time largest political party in West Africa, would not field in any candidate for the 2027 election. How democratically balanced is that?
Then who gave him the impetus? Who gave him the impetus? You allowed this Wike to be running roughshod over all of you. And when you were doing all these things, you did remember that the person that ride on the back of a tiger always end up on the belly of the tiger. You have forgotten, Abi? Why didn't they take this action against Wike in the beginning? Why didn't they? That's my question. Why didn't they? Knowing fully well that this man wants to be the alpha and omega of PDP. This man wants to contribute. They didn't see it that time, Abi?
Yes, I think that's about it. Is there the possibility that they also did not see it at the time? And that's what Wike was trying to do?
No, the man was using money to stop their mouth. Yes, Wike was using money to compromise all of them. He was sponsoring all of them. So what are you saying? You didn't ask yourself, why is this man doing this?
All right,
Whose money is it that he's spending? Whose money? Is this the father's money?
Well, Barrister,
so after all those ones, you want him to just hand over and go away, Abi?
Well, because of time, really, this is where we have to draw
It's a lesson. It's a lesson. When all these godfathers are sponsoring you, giving you all the privileges, go and check. They are looking for something from you. By the time it is time for payback, don't complain to me. Don't complain. I won't listen.
All right, then. Well, that's, again, a major lesson, according to Barrister. This is where we have to draw anchor on the analysis segment of the midday news. And we've been talking with Barrister Darlington Agomo, a legal practitioner right here in Nigeria, and also a political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Also joined us virtually is Mr. Oladare Ismail, member Take It Back movement. Of course, he did join us virtually. I want to say big thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you also, Barrister, for being
here. It's my pleasure.
We'll take a very short break right now. When we return, more stories in the news will be up next. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you back. Still the media news and Voice of the People television. Akwa Ibom has been ranked the cleanest state in Nigeria for the 2025, scoring 75% in the Environment Report Tone 2025. The National Coordinator of Clean Up Nigeria, Ene Owo, announced this today in Abuja. Owo, who also serves as Secretary of the National Technical Study Group, said the ranking came from the Stone 2025 assessment and the Cleanliness Performance Index for all the states. Ebonyi and Enugu placed second and third with scores of 65% and 56% respectively. They say the study combined physical verification of states and towns, which carried 20% of the score. The remaining 80% was generated from satellite imagery that collects monthly spectral data.
Elsewhere, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says in-person continuous voter registration in Yobe's 17 local government areas will end on December the 10th. State INEC Presidential Electoral Commissioner Ibrahim Abdullahi announced this in a statement from Damaturu. He said the preliminary voter register will be displayed for claims and objections from December the 15th to the 21st. The process will allow registrants to correct errors in their biodata, including names, wards, and national identification numbers. Abdullahi added that December the 21st has been set aside to handle complaints arising from the claims and objections. The second phase of continuous in-person voter registration will begin January the 5th, 2026.
Meanwhile, the Edo State House of Assembly Service Commission has cancelled the resigned employment of 324 people in the Assembly. In a statement signed by its chairman, Ezehi Igbas, and Secretary Isoken Nehi Oloto, the Commission said the employment letters issued were authorized, illegal, and unlawful. It declared all 324 appointments and their letters null, void, and of no effect.
Moving on, Nigerian drivers face road risk as the use of second-hand tires continues, with experts warning that worn-out tires can fail suddenly, leading to accidents. In Benin City, motorists say the scarcity of reliable, affordable new tires leaves them little choice but to rely on used ones. They are calling on the government to regulate the market and provide safer options. Our correspondent in Benin City, Rhoda Jenny, has more in this report.
Drivers remain at risk on the roads due to the widespread use of second-hand tires, which experts warn can fall unexpectedly and lead to serious accidents. Feedback from motorists in Benin City shows that many rely on second-hand tires because reliable dealers offering affordable tires are scarce. Others said used tires are simply the only option their budgets can accommodate.
The cost of tire in market is so much. When you have maybe a new tire, 45,000, 50-something thousand, and you can easily get a fairly used tire for 25,000 naira. We know that the fairly used tire is not out too good, but we are trying to manage because the cost is too much by a new tire. That is why. We are not just okay with it, but we just have to manage it.
This is my own tire I'm using now. It's not up to 2 to 3, let me say 2 months. You don't defile for side. If you go check and I don't defile for side. I don't know that they put tire, joint tire. They put on joint tire, I don't know why. So I don't know. But they will help us. We no fit afford new one. Now the fairly use is still there. To buy new one now, the new one it too expensive, but that fairly use we can manage it. But at least let's see they do one way. Let's see they do one way.
The tire that we have nowadays is of no use. It's all fake tires. And because of that, every one of us are buying fake tires, and we spend unnecessary money for what we're not supposed to spend. Because since we don't have Dunlop and Michelin company, no longer exists in Nigeria. But maybe those ones they are existing in other part of the world. But no longer exist, so they make us to buy fake tire. And tire nowadays, tire is one of the essential in motor. Because if you does not have a good tire, like for example rainy season, if you don't know how to drive, it can cause accident.
Motorists are appealing to the government to regulate the market and ensure access to safe and reasonably priced tires. With trusted suppliers limited and a growing number of drivers depending on second-hand tires, road safety remains a major concern, prompting renewed calls for government intervention. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, UOP TV News.
Thank you so much, Rhoda Johnny, for that wonderful coverage. Away from that report, now to some business stories. The Central Bank of Nigeria has revised its cash withdrawal rules effective January 2026. The new policies and the special approval that previously allowed individuals to withdraw 5 million naira and corporates 10 million naira once a month. According to a circular signed by Rita Sike, Director of the Financial Policy and Regulation, the revision aligns cash policies with current economic realities. She said the updates aim to cut cash management costs, improve security, and reduce money laundering risks linked to heavy cash usage. From January 1, individuals may withdraw up to 500,000 naira weekly across all channels, while corporate bodies will be limited to 5 million naira. ATM withdrawals are capped at 100,000 naira daily and 500,000 naira weekly. The CBN further added that all currency denomination can now be loaded in ATMs, while third-party check and encashment remains limited to 100,000 naira.
And from business, we move straight to talking sports. FIFA has pressed ahead with a major video assistant referee rule change for the 2026 World Cup. The world governing body, FIFA, plans to implement the change despite initial rejection from stakeholders and member associations. The update will allow VAR to review decisions on corner kicks during next year's tournament. In October, the International Football Association Board agreed to expand VAR to include checks on incorrectly given yellow cards. However, the proposal to review corner kicks was initially rejected. FIFA says it will push for the corner kick VAR checks at the World Cup, even though domestic leagues have resisted implementing it across all competitions.
Moving on to some entertainment stories, the Edo State House of Assembly has summoned Natasha Osawaru, member representing Ego constituency, over her conduct seen in viral videos. Osawaru, wife of singer Innocent Two-Face Idibia, is expected to appear before the Ethics and Privileges Committee within a week. One video showed Osawaru and Tubaba arguing during an Instagram live hosted by a media practitioner after the singer's former manager accused her of trying to control his finances and career. Tubaba later joined the live stream and warned his former manager to stop discourse in his private life before an off-camera argument with Osawaru became audible. Another clip appeared to show Osawaru shouting at the singer inside a London shop, which led to the arrest. A speaker, Blessing Ababeko, said her conduct has dragged the Assembly's name into disrepute and directed the committee to report back within 2 weeks. And that is it on the Media News and Voice of the People television. Do also subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Up next on the schedule of Voice of the People television is a spotlight show with Precious Sagumanu. I am Fina Chukwu.
And I am David Edwin. Good afternoon.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.